Hi. Today we are going to talk about the entire AP multiple choice for the year 2012. It is a multiple choice. I'm actually going to talk about the first 25 problems here for today. Okay, now let's start. It will actually be a hard task. Okay. First problem. It is ask us to find the derivative of this function, which is x sine x. In this problem, the way we are able to try to find it is by using the following rule. When we use fx times gx, it has a formula of fx times gx plus gx times fx. In this case, the fx is x, and the derivative of x is 1. The derivative of sine x is cos x. So let's combine the two problems together, which is 1 times sine x plus x times cos x, which can be equals to sine x plus x cosine x, which refers to B. Problem 2. Let f be a given function by 300x minus x cubed. For this problem, we can able to find the critical point, which will be benefit a lot. The definition of the critical point is this is equal to 0 or undefined. So in this case, the derivative of this is equals to this 3x squared. So this is equals to 0, and it has the solution of 10 and negative 10. So this will be the answer, which negative 10 and 10 are going to be increasing. The third problem, it is just a memory problem because don't ask me why. Even though I actually still know the reason, is equals to this. So therefore it refers to B in the problem. Sorry, I see wrong. It should be secant x. So it should be A. 4. Problem 4. It is required for us to find the derivative of f prime 1. So in this case, we first need to find the derivative first. So it is equals to 7x is 7. 3 is referred to 0. In x is this. So the answer of it should be 7 plus 1 is equals to 8, which is referred to E. Problem 5. Well, it actually requires me to draw here. So the graph should look like this. It is a bit awkward, I can say. Let's see. So it is actually asking us about 5 points, which is the first choice is whether this or this or this. The statement, whether this 5 continuous at x equals to 3, which one is false? So the first one is lim x equals to 2, fx exists. There is actually a dot here. We can see that it actually really exists. The next problem, lim x to 3 fx exists. So it is asking whether it exists here. Well, it also exists. It is very clear. You can see. The second one is asking whether fx4 exists. It doesn't exist because there is 2 points here. And we can show that 5 is also exists in this case. And it is also continuous at this 3. We can see that there is actually 2 dots showing here. So which means it won't exist. You see there is 2 same dots at the same y place, so it won't exist. Whether 4, lim x to 4 or x to 6 won't exist. So therefore, the answer to this problem is C. So let's see the problem 6. A particle moves along x-axis. The velocity of the particle at time t is 6t minus t squared. What is the total distance traveled by the particle from time x to 0 to x to 3? Well, in this case, we need to find the antiderivative. Since we know the velocity is equals to this, then we are required to find the distance. The distance is equal to, let me calculate, 3t squared minus 1, 3. This is the antiderivative. So it is asking you this, I suppose, from this to this. So we can use the fundamental theorem of calculus in this way. So it is equals to 27 minus 9, which is equals to 18. So in this case, 18 or D will refer to the correct answer. Problem 7. It is required for us to find y is equals to this. It is ask us to find the derivative of this. So we know that the first primary part should be this. However, if you only include this part, it is definitely not correct, which we eliminate A, B, and C because they only include this part or hadn't included this part at all. Actually, by ways of elimination, you actually are able to find that the correct answer is E. But we are still going to say. So which we know this. The derivative of this is this. And the derivative of this is positive sine x. Problem 7. Okay. Problem 8. A tank contains 50 liters of oil at the time 0. At the time t is equal to 4 hours, oil is being pumped into the tank at the rate RT, where RT is measured in liters per hour, and T is measured in hours. Selected value. What is approximation? Riemann sum. Okay, so this problem is about Riemann sum. So in this case, you just calculated the following 3 is this, and the following 5 is this, and the following 3 is this. It should be just right Riemann sum. It just look like this. So in this case, we are going to calculate, which is 27 plus 18.6 plus 29.5 plus 16.8. Well, I'm going to diminish the light. Just it might be unclear with the light glowing. So let me double check because I'm afraid that I get the wrong answer. So it's 46.3 plus 45.6. Wait for a sec. There's getting some problems here. 3. Is there any clue that this is wrong? 45.3. Well, this problem is actually, I think it's strange. Okay, I know the reason. So the first one should be 50 instead of 27 because the problem says that a tank contains 50 liters of oil at time equals to 4. So which is, after that, we recalculate this again, which is 68.6 plus 29.5 plus 16.8, which is approximately reaching the correct answer, which is C. Okay, it is right 114.9. Problem 9. Let f(x) be a function defined above for which value is f continuous at x equals to 2. Well, this problem is actually confusing me in the beginning, but it actually works. So what you only need to do is cross out this, and you do a 2x1 plus 1k, and you just substitute x equals to 2 here, and you get k is equals to 5. You can just think it as like this. So which will make it continuous. Problem 10. What is the area of the region in the first quadrant bounded by the graph of y is equal to e to the power of x divided by 2 and line x is equal to 2? Well, so let's just roughly draw the picture. It should look like this. And I'm going to show you how I get it. So first, this part must be included. So which we can just eliminate C, D, and first we must minus this part. I just said wrong accidentally. So which we can just eliminate the part without showing this, which is directly B, C, E. But D it's still might possible. Okay, so we have to choose between A and D. In this case, we know that the integral of this is equals to, let me think. It is equals to this, and we just cross out this part directly, and we can just find that x equals to 2, and we just minus 2 directly. So in this case, A will be the correct answer. Well, just an arrow to I say that D also doesn't include the part where minus 2 is going to be necessary. So which means we can just able to find A directly. Okay, problem 11. Let f be a function defined by this. Equals to root x minus 2. For all x, which of the following statement is true? Well, for actually contest tactics, E is definitely going to be wrong because vertical asymptote, should I call that asymptote? It is not commonly said in the calculus part. Even though it is still mentioned, in the calculus, but it's actually a major, a part for it. Okay. So which we can, but x equals 2 is really not a vertical asymptote. Yes, x equals to 2 is really not. So 11. F is continuous but not differentiable at x equals to 2. F is differentiable at x equals to 2. F is not continuous. We can actually try. like it is not differentiable because it is equals to 0, I think. In this case, that it will be equals to, it will reach 0 at this case. So it is not differentiable. So, but why is it continuous? Because it still includes a value, it still has a value of 0. So therefore, it is continuous. Well, actually, you can see that in this problem, if you are able to decide that f is continuous, never mind. So you need to consider both problems. So in this case, A will be right. Problem 12. Using the substitution u is equal to root x, for 1. E to the root x divided by root x dx is equals to which of the following? Let me think. So we give this as u, and we give a du, which du is equals to du divides by x over 3. It is just, I'm approximating it. So eu divides by u, which is equals to this, for 1 eu. And using the fundamental theorem of calculus, well, 4 minus 1 u du times x. So it is approximately 2. And it should be much more. So at this point, it's growing as an exponential, so it's 2. Let's just pass this problem, and we are going to talk about it at last. I mean, or like tomorrow, because this problem is still making me a bit thinking. So let's just do 13 directly. So fx is equals to this for x minus 3, and this for x is larger than 3. What is the value of 5, 1 fx dx? Well, in this case, you can just list out. I mean, you can make the basic definition of integral. You see, the below part. This is the basic definition of integral. So at area of 2, which is less than 3, so it is equals to 4. When it is larger than or equals to 4, which is 3 to 5. In this part, it starts from 2 and ends at 4, which it has the value of 6. Now we connect both parts together, which is 4 plus 6 is 10. So 13 has the answer of 10, which refers to D. 14. This problem asks us, as a condition of this, x squared minus 4 and gx is 3x minus 2. It requires us to find fgx in the case at x is equals to 3. So we can just substitute it. Substitute 3x minus 3, which is 9x squared minus 12x plus 4 minus 4. So it is equals to 9x squared plus 9x squared minus 12x here. So we try to simplify it. It is equals to 3x minus 4. Even though it doesn't, work as more. So we try using the way of solving this derivative. We get that it is equals to this. This is the derivative of this. So in this case, we can try to calculate it. How do we get this? Is because this is equals to, the derivative of this is equals to this. And since the root of x is equals to this, we put this up here and it divides by 2 is equals to 9x minus 6. So in this case, what we now need to do is we only need to get the value. So the above part is 21 and the below part is root 9x squared minus 12x, which we calculated is 81 minus, which is root 45. And we simplify this is 3 root 5, which is equal to 7 divided by root 5. So 7 divided by root 5, which is A, is going to be the final answer for problem 14. Problem 15. A graph is differentiable function f as shown above. If hx is equals to this, well, h root x is equals to ft. So first we can get h6 is definitely shorter than h root 6 because h root 6 has positive slope while h6 is, well, it is not a matter of slope. Well, let me think. hx is equals to sum of this. So since it's equals to sum of this, it is always negative as the problem shows, which is approximating like this. So it is always negative in this part, and it will be the smallest. H root 6 on the other hand is equals to ft, how ft goes. So it isn't about the entire area, so it will be larger. So h root 6. So we know that h is less than h root 6. I mean h prime 6. So how about h prime 6? Well, now in this problem, if we get this statement correct, we are able to eliminate C and E. So we still have A, B, and D left. Let's see, h prime 6 is about concavity. So in this case, I think the concavity should be, the slope. It should be about the slope of this. So we just randomly draw slope here, and we can see that it actually will be bigger than this because it has positive slopes. So this will be larger, and this will be the second larger, and this will be the least larger. Slope, yes. Problem 15. Problem 16 is, let me think. Problem 16 is the particle moves at x-axis with its position at time t given xt equals to t minus a, t minus b, where a and b are constant and a is not equal to b, for which of the following values of t is the particle at rest? Wait, why is the fact that a and b, they are, okay, that doesn't matter. Okay, so, well, we can actually, so if we want to find that it is at rest, the velocity, this is equals to 0. So so this is equals to the derivative of this is equals to this, or this is equals to this in this case. So in this case, we first need to find the derivative of this, which is a bigger, challenging problem 16. Well. Well, it's going to be a big challenge in problem 16. So in this case, we can just dividing them away. So we know that TA minus TB plus AB. We treat this as constant. So this is 0. And we also treat this and this as constant. And this as real value. And we give this way out. So we get that it is equals to 2t minus a minus b. It serves as a derivative. So we want this to be 0. Well, in this case, we want 2t is equal to a plus b. So t should be a plus b divided by 2, which is absolutely b in this case. Well, it is actually true that some very clear, like some problems, like if you think you don't have don't have the idea of calculus, you will most likely choose choice E is that one. So this type of answer is definitely incorrect, just like E. Okay, 7. The figure above shows a graph of f if fx is equals to integral 2x. Wait. So in this case, fx is equals to this. It is dependable on g. Fx is equals to. Since fx is looking like that, which means the number every time it improves should be the identical. So which means in this case, the only possible choice is A and B because they are just a straight line. The only difference between A and B is A does not have a limit. A is only going apart and B is going infinitively. It is true that it is not correct if an infinitive line continue goes while F is not infinitive. Because if it goes infinitive, F should also grow. So which only as a result, A is going to be the right answer. By the way, in this case, A looks like this and B looks like this. Now we have done problem 17. Problem 18. 18 regards famous. Sorry, I'm really stuck at this point. Okay, a famous rule called L'Hopital rule, which is a mandatory lesson for calculus AB. So in this case, it should be look like this, divided by h. So in the mandatory way, idea for L'Hopital rule to work is this two. So we just put 0 here. In 4 minus in 4 times 0. Divided by 0, which is 0 divided by 0. So which we prove that L'Hopital rule, it is able to work there, So in this case, let me think. In this case, it is true that after we get that L'Hopital rule is that we only then need to calculate the derivative of all this and put 0 in the derivative directly and we are done. So in this case, the derivative of h is 1. The derivative of in 4 plus h is 1 over 4 plus h. And the derivative of in 4 is 0. What? Well, I like when I do the problem for the first time, I always think the derivative of this is 1 over 4. Well, and that I get the result of 0, but that is not correct. So in this case, 1 divided by 4 plus h, in the case where h is equals to 0, is equals to 1 over 4. So which it is equals to B in the problem. 19. Well, 19 the hardest problem, I think. Like in my idea. So I'm trying to do this. 19, before that, I'm going to say on the way of guessing it. In guessing it, it is very clear that it has 3 points, which is A, C, and D. So which means that B definitely is going to be wrong, because if B is correct, then why is this problem showing his hardness? Like based on which company founded AP? Yes, College Board. Based on habits of College Board, they definitely will, make you calculate to the last bit. So, which in this case, the answer is definitely going to be wrong. So it's B and D is definitely wrong. A is also going to be wrong, I think, because they just want you to keep calculating. This is like how College Board thinks. Well, so it will lead to the result of C and D. Okay, but we still need to calculate the solution. How to get this problem. It is the most important. Okay, so we first to get this problem, we use this. Lim h is equals to 0, fa plus h minus fa divided by h. So in this case, we use this. We apply this in a plus h. A is 1 over 2, 0 0.5, 2.5 plus h, minus divides by 1 over 5. Why is it 1 over 5? It is because f1, 2 is equals to 1 divided by 5. And we divide by the h again. H is, what is h? H is this. So in this case, we know that the limit of this is going to be reach this. So this is going to be 0, where 0.00 is going to be a point. So in this case, we know that m should be 1 over 2. X, y1, y2 minus 0 is equals to y1 minus 0. So in this case, negative. So y1 must be equals to 2y2. So in this case, which C, the second solution, negative y2. So which means it's the third solution, which is 0, 0, and negative 4, 2, fits the requirement. And it will be the final answer for this. Problem 20. Well, we have reached the last 5 problems. Problem 20 is asking you for the derivative of the inverse function. Let me think. So we know that this is equals to this. So we put this as y, as how we calculated the, what's that called? And we give we just represent it in the way of x. So we know the derivative of this is equals to this. Since it looks like this, since the calculating way of it is by this, the derivative of this is this. So we just, simplify it in this way. So it should be this minus this. And this is going to be 0 in the derivative. And this is going to be this equals to this, which is 1 divided by 6 times y to the power of 2 divided by 3. So in this case, it is going to be the derivative, and we are going to, plug in 1. Y is equals to 1. So it is equals to 1 divided by 6. And it is going to be the final answer, which D is going to be the final answer, which is 1 divided by 6. Perfect. 21. The line 1 is equals to y is equals to 5 is the horizontal asymptote to the graph of which of the following function? Okay. In this case, we can use the way of elimination. You can, so it's the best way is, to calculate it one by one. So this is definitely not right. This is a linear equation. It is also not right. Y is equal to x. Well, the infinity is x equals to 5 instead of y equals to 5 for this problem. This one. Well, since I haven't really learned about it, I'm just going to use the way of graph. So we try when x is equals to 2, it is negative. So it looks like this. It is going to be very close to -1. Right, it's going to be very close with -1 instead of 5. So in this case, the only correct answer is going to be E. Since we eliminate the rest of the 4. 22. It requires us to find the absolute maximum of the following function f(x) is equals to inx. How many problems does it have? Okay. So in this case, inx divides by x is equals to fx. The absolute maximum of f is required you to find, let me think. Let me think for a sec. Okay, so we require to find the critical point. For finding the critical point, we first need to find the derivative of this. So it has a formula of this times gx divided by g prime x times fx divided by gx squared. 1x times x minus 1x times x minus 1 times inx divided by x squared. So it is 1 minus inx divided by x squared. It is the first derivative. 1 minus in x divided by x squared. So in this case, let me think. Well, so the critical point is going to be E. In E is equal to 1 and 0. So this equation will be undefined in this point. Okay. So we are going to calculate that back to compare who is larger. So in E divided by E is 1 divided by E, where in 0 divided by 0 is undefined. So the only E will work. So which means the final answer is going to be B, 1 divided by E. Problem 23. If population is the size of population at time t, which of the following differential equation describes linear growth in the size of population? Okay, population won't be grow through time. It is a common fact, and it won't go through by the way of population. So it first won't be CE, and it also won't be a strange linear growth, which will be look like a quadratic, which is also B, and D is not right. So which the only correct answer is going to be A. Okay. 23. Let My first impressed idea is not so good. So in this case, problem 24, let g be a function given by this. Okay, where k is equals to a constant. So what value of k does g have a critical point at x is equals to 2 divided by 3? So how we are going to do this problem? In this case, when x is equals to 2 divided by 3, gx has derivative. The case is that we should try one by one. So the best way, like when I did this, I'm decided to try this one by one. So kx times e to the power of kx, it is going to be equals to 2, let me think. It is equals to x squared times e. We first try d, because I think d is possible. It is equals to 1. So in this case, it is going to be equals to x squared. However, in this case, x squared, the derivative of this is going to be 2x. So 2x and 2 times 2 divided by 3 is 4 divided by 3, which is not correct. And the second number we are going to try is -3. So in this case, we do x squared times e kx is equal to x squared times e to the -3x is equal to x squared times 1 divided by e to the power of 3x. It is equal to x squared times e to the power of 3x. So in this case, we are able to apply quotient rule here. X squared, the prime of x squared is equals to be 2x. It's supposed to be 2x, where the derivative of this is should be equals to this. So we apply the rule here. 3x times 2x minus 2x x squared times e3x divided by the prime function is equals to divided by g squared, which is e to the power of 6x. It is not impossible. It is impossible for him to be direct. In this case. So we are able to do 3 times c to the power of 6x minus x squared. So it is equal to 6 minus x. What? Interesting. Never mind. Calculate some part wrong here. F prime x, this shouldn't include this, times g f prime x times gx divides by gx times f prime x. Okay, so it should be like this in this case. 3e to the power of 3x minus 2x times e 3x. 3x squared minus 2x times e to the power of 3x. 12 divided by 9, 4 divided by 3. So it's this. And it will have the result of 0. And this is the end of this problem. Problem 25. Which of the following the solution to the differential equation dy by dx is equal to 2 sine x with the initial condition y pi is equal to 1? Just to say something, like this problem, if you, plug in every data one by one, you are able to find that the one only work is going to be E. Well, I tried this. So, but we still need to use ways that is able to get marks in the free response problem to solve this entirely. So this dy1 is equals to dx 2 sine x. And in this case, that this is going to be y. Just you add integral on both sides, and this is going to be 2 cosine x plus constant. So we get the pi, and we make it negative. So it is going to be 1, and negative 2 plus c. To make it 1, so we get c is equals to 3. What? Sorry. This is negative 1. And this is negative 2. So this is 2, and we get 1. And it will be the final answer, which is going to be E. 2 minus 1 is going to be 1. This is problem 25. We can actually continue to do the problem 28. It is the location of it is given by this. And it is asking us for the acceleration when the derivative is first reaches 0. Let me think for a sec. Okay, we tried this. Vt is equals to negative cos t. Sorry, sine plus sine x, sine t. And this is going to be negative sine t plus cos t. When it is first reaches 0, which is cos t is equals to sine t. Cos t is equals to sine t negative. So t should be negative while sine should be positive. So sine is in the first and 3 quadrant while sine, so this should be in the first quadrant. Let me think. When it first equals to 0 for t is larger than 0. So we start from t. Since we know it is equals to t. So sine 0 is equals to 1. Wait, is sine 0 is equals to 1. And cos 0 is equals to 0. Let me think for a sec. cos x plus sine x is going to be 0. So we are required to find this when this is going to be 0. When velocity is equals to 0. Sine is equal to cos x, negative cos x is equals to, let me think for a sec. The plus, and it is the plus equals to 1, sine x plus cos x is equals to 1. Okay, so it's larger than 90. Okay, I know. So it's negative root 2. Negative root 2 divided by 2. And this is equals to positive root 2 divided by 2. So this is negative root divided by 2, and this is also negative root divided by 2. So it is going to be negative root 2. And it is going to be resulting A as a final answer. So in this case, x is going to be 45 degrees in this case. So it will be equals to A, which is a result of problem 28. And for the last of the problem, due to time reasons, which is 27 and 26, I'm going to talk about in the next week with following to the section B with time 50 minutes and 17 problems, which requires, what's that called? Calculator, graphing calculator. Okay, and this is the end for today. Thank you.